Have you ever wondered why you seem to work really hard but never get anything accomplished as an academic? That's what we'll be looking at in this edition of Dr. Todd Explains. Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Todd, and I've been giving some thought to the latest craze. It's been around a while now, called personal knowledge management. I'm a guy that likes to play with new toys, if you will, and to look at things and try to learn new workflows and everything. And what I've discovered is if one is not careful, you can spend an awful lot of time playing without getting anything accomplished. And I found that particularly apparent in this world we call PKM, or personal knowledge management. Personal knowledge management is usually, if you watch on YouTube, it's people that are showing you how that your life can be so much better by taking notes that you can link and backlink and all the new systems. And then, of course, what ends up happening is these influencers will work with one application for a while, and then I guess the views will go down, so they'll go to another application, leaving you high and dry on the last application that you've spent money on or that you spent time learning how to do. And it can be really frustrating. The other part about it is what I've noticed is that you learn to be very skilled, or you develop the skill of moving information around without actually absorbing the information and applying it. So I think that what I would encourage you to work on is not personal knowledge management, but personal knowledge development. You see, those notes are absolutely useless if they're not processed properly and applied and expressed in some way. So, how do we get there? What keeps us from doing that? The main thing is we have shiny new toy syndrome, or at least I do, where I'm spending more time learning a new application or even adjusting a workflow rather than just doing the work. And I think we need to focus on limiting your applications. Design a workflow, of course. Pick an application or a set of applications that work for you, and then work more on the content that you are absorbing rather than the information you're collecting. One of the things that I find very helpful is, instead of just collecting quotes from different things you're reading, work hard at paraphrasing those quotes into your own words. Now, if you want to list the quote so that you don't lose it, and then underneath it, in whatever form you're using it, be it an electronic note, an index card, whatever, put it in your own words. But always be thinking about, how can I say this? Another thing I would do is I would analyze, why am I picking up this resource to read in the first place? I don't think, and I think Cal Newport would agree with this as well, I don't think people the Nicholas Luhmann, his method, for those of you who understand PKM know what I'm talking about, the Smart Notes system, I don't think that happens for everyone. I have yet to write an academic paper, for instance, just because I have this box of notes sitting over there, and the themes just sort of emerge. And I understand how it's supposed to work with the linking and all those kind of things. But the bottom line is, usually the notes I take are for a purpose. If I'm producing a class lecture, for instance, I'm reading in a certain way, looking for certain things. So I would encourage you to have a reason to pick up the resource you're about to read. Once you pick up that resource and start reading it, like I said, put things in your own words so that you can think toward application. One of the ways to do that, after putting in your own words, also would be simply to express those words in the form of a story. What I'm getting at there is help your own understanding. What I do, sometimes I'll just record a video where I'm explaining it to myself. I also have 2 or 3 trusted friends that I run things by, and I'm watching their feedback to make sure that I'm saying things in a way they can understand, or that I need to clarify, those kind of things. But practice, take the information in, process it by putting it in your own words, Bring about certain stories and metaphors and applications that person that you'd be expressing it to can understand, and then express it. Practice expressing it. What you'll see then is that end product there could even become a note of its own, but it becomes part of who you are, and so it's in your repertoire, or it's in your quiver. It's an arrow in your quiver that you can use at a moment's notice. So the idea is, don't get so caught up on the latest application or the latest system. Remember, individuals that are showing these things to us on YouTube, that's what they make their living doing. And so in order to create interest, they have to tell you that there's a problem with what you're doing. And they're going to solve that problem by this latest mechanism, model, whatever you want to call it, framework. And in all honesty, all that it really ends up being a lot of times is an extremely skilled and fancy form of procrastination. Understand what you're trying to do when you pick up a resource to read or to take notes on. Stick with some basic applications that work for you. Use those, know them well. They don't have to be glamorous, just what works for you. Focus on focus on the level of ideas as well, not just pithy quotes. Identify the main ideas, restate those main ideas in your own words, put them in the form of a narrative that you can explain and tell a story to an uneducated friend, and then you can then record that in some way that you can always draw upon when you need it. And if you'll do those things, I think what you'll find is you will have transcended from personal knowledge management to personal knowledge development. And if you do that, you'll be a much more effective scholar. Well, I hope this has been helpful. If you like the work I'm doing here, please feel free to subscribe and hit that like button so you won't miss future videos. If you have any questions, also let me know. Put them in the comments. I don't know where your frustrations are with personal knowledge management, but if you have some, put them in there. I'd like to hear that, and I'd like to interact with you there. God bless. Look forward to seeing you in the next video.